Good morning, and thank you for being here today. First, I'd like to say that I understand that this has been a difficult process for many in our community, including students, parents, staff, and alumni. I appreciate the valuable time that many people took to participate in the pre-consultation and consultation process by attending the pre-consultation meetings, the consultation meetings, and/or submitting consultation responses. Second, I would like to share that this has been a very detailed and deliberative process. It has been a transparent process, as demonstrated by the consultation and decision report, which will be published on the ministry website later today. My remarks today will give a synopsis of the information included in the consultation and decision report. The report provides an overview of the consultation, the number of participants, the key points and issues raised during the consultation, and the actual written responses received. This also communicates the decision and reasons for the decision on Tatem Middle SchooL. By way of background, after the pre-consultation meetings, the ministry launched a consultation on whether or not to close Tatem Middle SchooL. And this was based on data and information showing that all of our middle school students can be accommodated in the remaining 4 middle schools. The consultation period extended from November 8th to December 20th, 2019, and the consultation document was made available on the ministry's website. Critical and other community stakeholders were invited to participate in the consultation via email, radio, and social media advertisements. Consultation meetings were held with staff members of the Bermuda Public School System, the Tatem School community, other school communities, and members of the public, the executives of the Bermuda Union of Teachers, BPSU, and the BIU, although the executive from the BIU was unable to attend, and finally, the chairpersons of the other middle schools. Along with technical officers, I attended each of the consultation meetings and listened to the information, views, and responses given by the critical stakeholders. A total of 25 persons attended these consultation meetings. The ministry also received a total of 53 consultation responses via the consultation response form or by email. All 53 written responses are included in the consultation and decision report that I have carefully read every single one of them. As communicated publicly, I had committed to announcing a decision by the end of January 2020. However, as a result of a grievance received by some of the staff members of Tatem Middle SchooL dated January 23rd, I decided to delay making a decision on Tatem Middle SchooL until I was able to consider the points in the grievance that were specific to the consultation. This helped to ensure that the consultation process was fair and that the decision taken would be in the best interest of the Bermuda Public School System. Therefore, I considered the grievance points in relation to the consultation as part of the decision-making process, in addition to the responses provided during the pre-consultation and consultation. Key issues raised during the consultation including from the grievance were accommodating students, class sizes, and maximum enrollment, budget and resources, transportation and proximity, transition and integration of staff and students, the future of the building and the site use, the work community and history of the Tatem, Spice Valley, and Worksec community, and enrollment. I have considered the issues and points raised during the pre-consultation process, the issues and points raised during the consultation process, the points for and against closure, responses of the Ministry of Education and the Department of Education to the issues and points raised during the consultation process, the alternative option of reopening the school, and the effects of closure. Following the consideration of the above, I have decided to close Tatem Middle SchooL permanently. The reasons for my decision is as follows. All of the island's public middle school students can be accommodated in 4 middle schools as a result of the decrease in enrollment. Enrollment in the Bermuda Public School System, including middle schools, is continuing to decline. The current and declining student population can be accommodated within the 4 middle schools. 2, an adequate staffing complement. The majority of the staff at Tatem Middle School were transferred to other schools for the 2019-20 school year. Each middle school has a staffing complement that meets or exceeds the requirements to educate and support the number of students in each middle school. 3, class sizes are within maximum enrollment. The maximum enrollment in middle schools is 25 students per class. The current sizes of middle school classes for both core and on-core subjects are below the maximum class size. 4, adequate physical space. There is adequate physical space, although there are a few teachers required to share instructional spaces at Dellwood Middle School. Students are physically accommodated in every class. 5, additional and redistributed resources. The Department of Education has redistributed resources from Tatem Middle School to other middle schools. In addition to staffing, which makes up over 90% of the Tatem Middle School budget, the other middle schools have received increased or improved information technology, funds for supplies for additional students, as well as photocopiers, chairs, tables, and desks. Additional and redistributed resources have and will continue to be provided to the middle schools. 6, available education programs. The education programs offered at Tatem Middle School are available at the other middle schools. Sands Secondary Middle School, Dellwood Middle School, and Whitney Institute Middle School provide programs that are the same or in addition to what was offered at Tatem Middle School. And 7, transportation. The Department of Public Transportation has worked with the Department of Education to provide transportation for Tatem Middle School students to and from other middle schools. The Department of Education is working with the Department of Public Transportation to respond to the challenges regarding the need for additional capacity. I know that there have been challenges that have come as a result of the temporary closure of Tatem Middle School. However, I am thankful to the Department of Education's leadership, middle school principals, and middle school staff who have worked diligently to resolve these issues, as well as our parents and students. The Ministry and Department of Education are committed to the development of a detailed implementation plan focused on communication and collaboration, updating the maximum enrollment in middle schools, enrollment of current P6 students, reinvestment of resources, transition and integration of staff and students, transportation, and honoring the war community and history of Tatem Middle School and its precursors. As I have now made the decision, the department will now begin to engage first with principals in order to develop the implementation plan. However, there will be opportunities for input from other critical stakeholders in the coming weeks. Once the implementation plan is finalized, it will be made public and regular progress updates will be given. I would like to highlight specifically as it relates to Tatem and Warwick community, that the Ministry of Education will develop and implement a proposal with community input to honor the legacy and preserve the artifacts from Tatem Middle School and its precursors, Spice Valley Middle School and Warwick Sec. Before I close, I'd like to remark on my day yesterday. Yesterday, I was able to meet and communicate this decision to the Department of Education staff, the middle school principals, Ms. Lucille Parker Swan, one of the daughters of Tatem, of the Tatem Middle School, and the Tatem school staff. I was in awe of the commitment to public education and appreciate the questions, feedback, and comments that were shared with me and the team at the Ministry and the Department of Education. I had also invited parents of Tatem Middle School to meet to hear the decision from me in person. Unfortunately, that meeting was canceled due to lack of attendance. The decision will be communicated to them in writing today. They will also be invited to send any questions about the decision to the ministry. I think the words of Ms. Parker Swan reflect what many will feel about this decision. It is regrettable, but understandable. In closing, I would like to emphasize that this decision was made with great care and thought and consideration, and in the best interest of the students of the Bermuda Public School System. Again, I thank all of those that participated in the consultation process for their comments, observations, and suggestions. Your input has been invaluable and helped me make this difficult decision. Thank you, and now I will take your questions.
Good morning, Minister Rabain.
Good morning.
My first question for you is what will become of the actual building now that the school's been closed permanently?
Now that we've made the decision to close the school permanently, you've heard me mention about the implementation plan. The implementation plan will also cover removal of our equipment and whatever's left in the building from the Department of Education and the teachers. But the building now will revert back to the Ministry of Public Works, and they will be the ones to decide what happens with the building.
So going forward, will the recreation classes that are currently happening there continue?
That is a question I cannot answer because it falls under the remit of the Ministry of Public Works.
What cost savings will be made as a result of this decision?
The decision that we've made today has nothing to do with funding. All funding that remains within the Department of Education will be redirected to the other middle schools.
Okay, the Premier stated on Monday during an open discussion that middle schools will be phased out by September of this year. What would that mean for the remaining middle schools?
I believe the comment the Premier said that he looks forward to this being the next school year look forward to being the last year with the middle school system. As we have stated within our platform, and we've been very, very consistent with, that we intend to phase out middle schools, and that process, while still in the stages of being developed, and once we get to the point where we're ready to communicate what's going on exactly with the public, and after we've had input from our stakeholders, we will be moving forth with the phasing out of middle schools.
As a result of the merge from T and Tatum into other schools, you mentioned there was a surplus of teachers at Delwood. Do you see any layoffs in the future?
There is no intention to lay off anyone. We will continue to look at our system and make the best decisions taking into account what our students need within our school system. So I don't foresee any layoffs, but however, that is going to be something that the Department of Education will do and look at our system in its entirety. And I'm sure that we will have a plan, especially with the implementation plan, that will showcase where the teachers need to be moved, where there is need.
And just lastly, you mentioned that there was a poor attendance rate by people in the community, including parents. Were you disappointed by that?
I was disappointed that more people didn't show up, but I am very grateful to the people that did show up and submit their opinions.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, Paul.
I like the enthusiasm. Thank you. Perhaps a bit of a loaded question. You kind of touched on it in your prepared remarks. The consultation document that was put out, I believe in early November.
November 8th.
November, yeah. Basically said that, look, Delwood Middle School isn't needed to accommodate middle school students.
T and Tatum.
Pardon me, T and Tatum Middle School students. That's correct. And in fact, your colleague, Colonel Birch, that same month in the House announced a raft of different programs for the building. Was today's announcement kind of a foregone conclusion?
I would say no, it wasn't, because we committed to a consultation. We are required to consult prior to making a decision such as this, and if the decision could have gone either way. What has happened is we've taken the opportunity to consult, ask the questions, look at the data from that point of view, and the decision was framed based on all of that information received.
Something else you've spoken of numerous times in the past, I guess, is the restructuring of the public school system. Yes. And as you've said in the past that there are likely going to be other school closures. Is there any update you can give on what the situation with T and Tatum has taught you, or what new insight has been? Is there anything more you can say about forthcoming school closures?
Well, the T and Tatum, I can say that the T and Tatum things that we've gone through have definitely given us a framework of moving forward if we are to look at other schools and the types of consultation that it should be expected in order to follow through with things like that.
Should the community expect forthcoming school closures in the years ahead?
I think the community should look forward to the restructuring plans that the Department of Education and the Ministry of Education has, and everything that we do is always done in the forefront of our minds. What is best for our students, so they are able to exit our system being well prepared to take up their rightful place within Bermuda. So decisions that are made are data-based and based on what is best for our students. So as we move forward with our restructuring, those plans, as they're made available and the consultation takes place, they will begin to take shape, and people will see where we're going and why we want to go the way that we need to go for our students.
My final question for you is just
Sure.
to kind of piggyback on something that Jasmine brought up before. So we are in school year 1920 currently.
Mhm.
Next school year will be 2021.
Yes.
Will 2021, as it stands now, be the last with middle schools, and that there will be no middle schools for the 21-22 school year? Is that correct?
Paul, I think that when we've done enough of these press conferences to know that I have firmly stated that a decision on what the future of education looks like in Bermuda will be well on its way, and an announcement will be made prior to the start of the next school year, and we will be moving towards that. In the foreseeable, for the upcoming school year, we don't foresee anything changing very much from where we are now.